Alrighty, welcome back. Let's get to this. We are going to add a input field. Take in our chunk span. I don't have Unity running. Hilarious. Alrighty. Get over to our canvas. Sometimes when the canvas is oddly shaped, just click on the game window and then click back on the canvas. We will put our chunk span below all this stuff instead of above it. Input field, hold down the Alt key, put it in the lower left hand corner, and drag it up. Rename it IF chunks and give it a default value of 3. I guess we really don't need a pointer to it, but if I have my code change the chunk span, I like to have the control out there to change the value in it. Duplicate one of our labels. Drag it down on top of the chunk span IF. Rename it label chunk span. And put chunk span in the label. Alrighty. Now let's see here, which property do we want to use on value change? And it's looking for a string property, and that's always the sucky part with the input field, but that's okay. We will create a property right here called string chunk span. When we get it, we will return our chunk span to string. And when we set it, since we're doing we're about to do a build, and some of you may want to target Xbox, instead of using the try parse, we have to actually do a traditional parse with a try catch wrapping it. The reason is Xbox does not, or Unity's version of .NET does not support the try parse. In 2019, it might in 2022. And we are just going to put a CS right there. Int.try or int.parse. I almost done it. Int.parse. Oh, that's right. It is a return. Out of date on some of the stuff. Value. And comically, if we didn't get an error, then we'll hit this line. I do not want to put a debug in here saying that we got an error, because it will just keep on popping up. We should put a line under that. Okay, now we have something to add over here. Set this to chunk span. And now we need another button. I'm just going to duplicate the close button. Drag it up. I think I'm going to drag all these up a little bit. I'm going to rename the close button BTN generate. Set its text to generate. With that, I'm just going to call the generate function wherever it is. It's private. Yeah, it's private. Generate. And I'm going to put the commons state equal to paused. Well, we don't necessarily have to. We can have it load 1. But because I'm going to also put the state equal to paused right there, I don't want it, of course, to start processing the chunks before it's ready. And we'll do a child count, get the current transform child count. I get this wrong sometimes. I can't remember which way to do it in the active code or in the live code and which way to do it in the editor. They're different. And I believe this one is transform get child 0 dot game object, because we're deleting them immediately, so we just keep on deleting 0 over and over again. Actually, we have those. Come to think of it, let's do it that way. We have these in the chunk length. Well, I was incrementing CN anyway. It was gonna, it would kick back in my face anyway. This way we can delete all of them. Okay, that would probably be better. And we're going to reinitialize our lab to a new size anyway, because we're using a new instead of system resize. That should be it. Next video we test it. Next section. Alrighty. Nothing going on. Chunk span of 3. Oh, it didn't like something. Well, that's embarrassing. No. 344,000. Oh, I'm still on 62 times 62. Why didn't you wipe out my chunks? So let's just stop that. Start again. So I'm paused because I got to actually change the code over here. So I actually know what happened. And now our chunk span is 3 by 3. There we go. So we were still doing the 64,000. Let's go ahead and knock that back down to 3 right there in our editor window. And that's it. Current memory, not that bad at all. Okay, let's put a couple of the inputs over here. And that's why I originally had this down farther. I'm going to, well, I'll just leave you that size. Copy and paste the label in the input field. Call this one seed. IF seed. Smoothing. IF smoothing. Okay, and now take both of these two, scale them down in size. We have a few more to do. We don't really want to run out of room here. Duplicate both of them, bring them down. We're not going to change our world size, so we'll change our height. We have, what is it? Label gen height. Gen height. IF gen height. And then max height. Label max height. And IF max height. And for those to make any sense, we need to have the same values in our map label. So smoothing 25, 128, 32, 5. Max height will be 128 for the text. Gen height will be 32. Smoothing will be 25. And the seed will be 5. Alrighty, and let's go over and create those properties real fast. Exact same way as the chunk span. I need to get something to eat. My belly's beginning to growl. Just create properties for each of them, name them, and set the map level value for each. And now let's go to the front and put those in place. Let's see here, button generate, and rename that so I actually know which one it is. IF seed. We'll go to our seed property. IF smoothing. We'll go to our smoothing. IF gen height. And max height. We'll go to the max height. Alright, let's test this out. Let's see here, generate 15, generate, smooth it down, do it up, raise the height, lower the height. We are ready to do a test build. See you in the next section. Alrighty, welcome back. If you've never successfully built in Unity before, I'm doing this. I'm hoping to get a bunch of errors here so I can show you exactly how to handle it. I'm going to build for PC, Mac, and Linux standalone. I'm leaving everything at the default for the moment. Later on we may do a development build, and we'll need to copy the PDBs so we can get some error messages. But right now we're just going to try to do this, and it should fail. Under my default folder, I'm going to create a folder called test build, and we'll have that selected. And there we go. There they are. And the problem is it did not actually find all of them if there are more there. So quite often you'll go take care of these bugs. They're all insanely simple to take care of. So we find them in our mesh parts. I've mentioned this before. We want no actual function from our mesh library going with us. So we are just going to go up here and do an if Unity editor. And then at the very bottom, below all of our functions, end if. Very simple. Go back to our error list. Or, okay, come on. That's all in Unity, isn't it? Yeah. And we look and see, yeah, mesh library has a different one. So we just go around and do this everywhere. Wrapping all of our functions in anything that's incompatible with the runtime. And what's incompatible with the runtime? Anything that throws an error on the build. If it's running perfectly in the editor, then everything that throws an error is not compatible with the runtime. I've already done that one. Mesh parts, mesh parts. Okay. Make sure you clear these errors before you try to build again, because you probably are going to get some more. It doesn't. Now, if you notice the test build folder is already selected, say select folder. Ooh, no. I didn't get any more. I didn't have that many. And there we go. So I'm going to minimize, I'm going to close all this. I'm going to minimize everything because I want to do this on the screen for you guys. I have my Xbox stuff set to Control 11. It's trying to load the camera as some plugin. got for Xbox, and I wish I wouldn't have. I'm going to hit the button, and then whenever I click away, everything disappears. If you don't have the Xbox bar, I advise you to download it if you're on Windows. There's a bunch of scripts out there to get the frame rate, but most of them actually hurt the frame rate. I'm going to go to Unity, or to the box Hexagon Toots executable. Just double click on it, and now I'm going to go down to FPS. It's showing me, yeah, I'm on 60 frames per second, and then I'm going to click generate. And for a few seconds there while we were moving, it did give us a little bit of a bad frame rate. I forgot to put gravity on our buttons over here, and I forgot to line them up the correct way, so the labels are all bad. We'll get through that shortly. Okay, so I'm going to say 5 now, and I have my debug bar up down here, and look at this. Much less than what we were seeing in the editor, because you are monitoring in the editor, you're also monitoring the editor. So let's say 25. So our memory should be allotted now. And there's our memory. And you see the dip when we actually generate it, because we're not using the task queue yet. Still including the task queue. This isn't a perfect test because we don't have gravity over here yet, but we will momentarily. I can't tell if it's finished or not. There's no way it's finished. I'm going to get way over here in the corner, because that's where the frame rate will be the worst when I'm looking across. And yeah, we took a little hit. Is it finished? Is that 25? Yeah, I guess that is 25. Alrighty. Taking a few little hits here and there, but not really that bad. So, let's say 50. And this time we took a hit. Memory is not that bad at all. Oh, I didn't do the chunks. I did the, gotta wait till it generates now. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Yeah, it should work. Nope, I think that was a bad idea. There it is. That alone should be hitting our frame rate a little bit. Now let's look at our memory. Yeah, 404 megabytes. Not that bad on the RAM. The only thing that's going to hurt us is that long span. I mean, that's 24 chunks in each direction if you were in the center. About double that of Minecraft in view span. That's not bragging. That's just saying there's a reason for Minecraft's view span. Got the gravity. The imitation cat noise was for free. It is copyrighted though. Maybe it was imitation airplane noise. Never mind, you can have it. Still got to take care of our light peek through. Horrible thing's going to raise our RAM. Hey, am I already there? Are you serious? No, I didn't think I was. We have a hole to the bottom of the world. Yeah, we took some pretty good hits right there. Just having one common, yeah. I mean, you could get away without pulling of having multiple commons. And speed this up. For 50, if you had 5 commons, it would generate almost the same speed as having a 10 span. So, wow, look at that. Just slapped us. So there is our frame rate trying to just not acceptable. And it's still generating. I'm going to bring up Task Manager. Go to Performance. Go to Memory Usage. Unity is using the rest of this RAM. My RAM is normally about 6-8 gigabytes max. Unity is using the rest of it. The difference between our half a gig, which is the managed, versus, or not even half a gig, 400 megabytes, and they about, what is that? About 4 gigs. So about 3.5 gigs is what native code is using. Alrighty. This appears to be the debug bar. I don't know why. Oh no, it was the, okay. Because I went full screen, you can't see the close button because of how it's recording. Okay. We'll take care of that in the next recording. Learn something every day. Okay, so all of these labels, first of all, have got to have, without holding down the Alt key, I'm just going to pump them down there at the same place as those other ones. And now I am going to add 2 more buttons. I'm running out of space. Select all of my new little controls and move them down because I want these on top. Haha, I missed 2. Boom, 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 boom. Control, duplicate, drag up. Grab all of these. I'm going to grab them over here because I can't tell which ones I have grabbed. Pull them up. Because I want these a little bit farther away from those. And I'm going to rename this one Gravity. Name this one IF gravity. And by default, it has a gravity of 0. Rename this one speed. Label speed. IF speed. And I think our speed's default to 6. Isn't that right? Yes. Go back to our code. Go over here. Wrong class. Just grab the last two. Copy. Paste. Speed. Speed. Character speed. Character speed. Speed. Speed along there. Gravity. Gravity. It sounds like a child's TV show, just repeating the stuff over and over again. All right. Back up here. Gravity goes to, what do you think? Gravity. Speed goes to, what do you think? Speed. I'm going to go ahead and do the build right now. Sometimes Unity will make you delete the contents of the folder. Sometimes it won't. Test build, select. Okay, now I'm going to restart the recording. I'm going to close down Unity in Visual Studio to get a cleaner, purer reference here. Leave my Explorer up, and I'll see you in just a second.